native city in the chat box so that we get to know we're all there in the meeting, right? Please go ahead and type your name and native city in the chat box. And, this is Dr. Gopal Sivakumar talking to all of you all the way from Chennai, right? All of you, please do share your name and native city in the chat box. We have Dimple from Philippines. Welcome, Dimple. We have Jagir Khan from Kolkata. Welcome, Jahir. Joel from Mumbai. We have Jaish from Mumbai. We have Nikesh Roy from Darjeeling, right? Currently in Bangalore, we have Vashni from Chennai, Chandan Kumar from Pune. All of you, please do share your name and native city in the chat box. We have Devrim from Turkey, Priya from Chennai, and I could see a lot of people in the participant list. Please do share your name. Yeah, we have Angeline from Philippines. So we have today a lot of people from Philippines. I could recall my program for a team of executives in Philippines. They are from banking sector. We did a green bill program for a set of people from Philippines, specifically from a bank. All right, welcome all of you. So for the convenience of all of you, I am muting everyone, and so that you can have a great learning experience right in this meeting. All right. So Priya madam, please go to the chat option and then make it available. Enable the participant to chat only to host and co-host. Done. And also a few other settings I need to do. Let me do that so that the workshop can really go without any interruption, right? Done. So let me share my screen. Just sharing my screen, just a second. Yes. All right. So participants, can you please confirm my screen visibility and my audio? Is that everything is clear? My audio is clearly audible and my screen is visible. Please do confirm in the chat. Please confirm. Yes. Thank you so much for the confirmation. So once again, welcome to the workshop on cost of quality and the Lean Six Sigma. You are going to have a wonderful learning experience. At the same time, towards the end of the workshop, I'll be sharing you the information about upcoming Six Sigma certification program, using which all of you can benefit and you can push yourself moving up in the corporate ladder. How that is going to happen, you will understand from me. Yeah. So, and moreover, since you have taken some efforts to join this workshop, you stand a good chance to grab two certificates. One is the participation certificate. Each one of you here will be issued a participation certificate upon effective participation in the workshop. And make sure you learn along with me. Make sure you learn along with me and interact with me throughout the workshop so that you will also get a very good participation certificate. And one more, which is called the white belt certificate. And there is a procedure to acquire this white belt certification. I will explain to you towards the end of the program. And moreover, those of you who are staying throughout the, you will get this, what do you call, the participation certificate, and as well as you will also get some surprise bonuses. So please stay throughout the session to grab away all the offers and bonus we are going to announce. With that note, so this is what you will be learning on day one, the overview of the topics which I'll be discussing with each one of you today. Concept of operational excellence, then the concept of quality, Toyota production system, lean and Six Sigma. And then the Six Sigma uses the methodology called DMAIC, and it uses various tools and techniques. And then there are different belt levels I'm going to discuss with all of you. And then I will also talk about a clear roadmap for excellence. You can use it for organizational excellence so that you can help your organization generate more revenue, maximize their profit percentage. You can also use as the roadmap for your professional excellence, career excellence, right? So it helps to organization as well as it helps to individuals. And this is the part 2. If you come forward to learn the part 2, you will be getting the white belt certification. So how to get the white belt certification and how to go through these modules. Here, there is an important question all of you can see here. What is exactly Six Sigma? There are many people, even after going through several programs, they still have a difficulty in finding answer for the question. But all of you are giving yourself an excellent opportunity to understand what is exactly Six Sigma, what it means to you, your customer, your organization. You will gain an absolute clarity, and that will happen in the part 2, right? So with that note, this is Dr. Gopal Sivakumar talking to all of you. I hold a doctorate degree in mechanical engineering. I have about 18 plus years of experience, out of which 6,600 plus hours of training experience exclusively helping people learn and implement the Lean Six Sigma body of knowledge at all levels. I have directly trained more than 3,000 people at different belt levels, starting from white belt and up to the master black belt. I am also an author of 7 different books, which are in the area of mechanical engineering, mathematics, and statistics. I have demonstrated highly successful DMAC projects for his clients. With me, there are about 20 plus Six Sigma consultants. We help our clients improve quality, productivity, reduce the cost, and then the improvement projects they float. All right. So this is about me. And before we start, I would like to share a few important points. Generally, people think that Six Sigma is difficult and it is not for everyone. And understanding Six Sigma and understanding the Six Sigma tools and techniques, and these are all applicable only for a big organization, and only for people having a keen interest or some basics about the Six Sigma and other things. And definitely they're all wrong. So Six Sigma can be learned. Even if you do not know anything about Six Sigma so far, it is absolutely fine. You can learn from me comfortably. And irrespective of the device you have used to sign in for the meeting, whether you have signed up using a mobile phone or a tablet or a laptop or a desktop, it is absolutely fine. You can comfortably learn in this workshop, right? Everything will be taught to you right from the basic. And we are going to follow an interactive way of learning, which means as I explain the sessions, tools slide by slide, you will have to listen very carefully, learn from it, and also do not hesitate to interact, do not hesitate to respond. I have designed the program in a way that you get a lot of opportunity to interact with me during the workshop, right? Any question I ask, immediately type your answers in the chat box. And also you have any question coming up in your mind, immediately post it in the chat box without any hesitation, be it whatever question, right? Be it silly or be it challenging, right? Please post the questions in the chat box. I'll see to that I answer your question immediately or towards the end of the workshop. All right. And I have some special bonus for everyone and that will be announced towards the end of the session. And moreover, we will also be posting a link towards the end of the workshop, and to capture your attendance and then to capture your basic information. Thereby, we will generate your participation certificate and send it to you through email, right? So don't fail or forget to fill up that link when we are actually posting it. Hope all of you are now ready to kickstart your learning journey in the field of Six Sigma. I just need a big yes from each one of you in the chat box so that I can get started. Let me see how excited all of you are to start your learning journey. All right, so I think a lot of people are typing yes in the chat box. Yes, yes, yes. I request the host, please make me co-host also, and then I should be able to see all the guests, Purva, Puri, Vivek Kumar, and many people. All right, thank you so much. I understand all of you are excited to learn about Six Sigma. All right. All right. So these are the expected participants. I mean, expected outcomes. All of you are going to understand operational excellence. You're also going to understand the philosophies behind organizational success. There are many organizations, big organizations like Toyota and Motorola. They all succeeded. What is the secret behind their success? How they were able to, achieve breakthrough results? We are going to understand. And in the process, I will also familiarize all of you with various tools and techniques, which are primarily the quality control tools, problem solving tools, decision making tools, project management, team management, communication management, etc. Right? And then towards the end, a clear roadmap and certification opportunity using which all of you can achieve excellence. Right? Excellence in the sense you will be giving yourself a chance to perform better in the competition. All right. So operational excellence. What is operational excellence? There are about a lot of participants here. Let us say there are 30 people so far in the meeting. Suppose if we consider each one of you as an organization, in the same domain, choose a number, which will represent the position of your company in the market. If you want your company to be number one, please choose a number 1 and type it in the chat box. If you want to be number 2 in the market, please type number 2. If you want to be number 10, please type number 10, right? So there are 30 people here, 30 organizations. So each one of us can choose a number. What do you want to be? Or where do you want to see your company in the order? I could see number 1 from Vivek and number 1 from Purva Puri, and each one of you has to type, and I could see number 2 by Ganapati, and then Dimple says number 1, Joel says number 1, Venkatesh says number 1, another Venkatesh says number 1, Vishal says number 1. All of you, there are 30 people here. Each one of you, please do participate. Where do you want to see yourself, see your company in the competition? Do you want to see your company in the first position or in the last position? And I could see, many of you saying number 1, right? And this drive, such a drive, if you really drive your company in a way that it can become number 1 one day, then your drive is called operational excellence. If you really want to be number 1, it's very important that you stand out from the competition. How can you stand out from the competition? By performing better than your competitor. By performing at least 1% better than your competitor in terms of the quality, in terms of productivity, delivery, and cost. Right. So operational excellence is a systematic approach. Operational excellence is a systematic approach for industrial organization to attain the best-in-class performance in terms of productivity, quality, and delivery of products and services. So what's very, very important here is, if you want to become number one, then organizations generally come out with certain strategies. Some organization focus on customer delight. Some organization focus on pricing. They will have a pricing strategy. Certain organization will would like to take the technological lead. No, so organizations come out with strategy. But what is most important is, you should be able to consistently drive the strategy. Consistently drive the strategy from the top till the down level, in a way that your deployment is more reliable than your competitors. At the same time, the operational risk involved, the operating cost involved, everything, you should be able to keep your organization ahead of your competition. So as a result, you will be able to you will be able to actually grab the market share, or gradually improve your market share. If you start improving the market share, what will happen? Gradually you will be able to see your organization standing in the number one position in the market. So, and it is not that easy to simply perform better than the competitor in every aspect. First of all, it is a monumental task. Achieving operational excellence is a monumental task. Everyone in the organization should be involved, starting from security till the CEO. Everyone should be involved, right? CEO till the security, everyone is actually aligning towards the organization's strategic priority, number one. And number two, you are able to align everybody, and now a set of committed people are required to drive all these people in the correct direction consistently over a period of 3 to 5 years. Because strategic goal is something which can be achieved in long term, which can be achieved over a period of 3 to 5 years. So a clear commitment to stick on to the strategy, a clear commitment to drive every initiative, every project, everyone in the organization in the correct strategic direction is actually called operational excellence. And Six Sigma or Lean Six Sigma is an approach to achieve this kind of operational excellence, keeping quality as the strategic focus. So let's understand how the Lean Six Sigma approach differs from the traditional business approach. We call it traditional business model or classical business model. In a classical business model, the belief is quality is expensive. Quality is expensive. You want a high quality product, then it will be obviously will cost you higher. And this will work if the price is decided by you. What if the price is decided by the market, right? And that will be the main drawback of continuing with the traditional business model. And they think so because they also think that quality, they also know that the quality is a function of highly skilled resources, modern technology, modern machinery, right? And all these things are required, and that's the reason why they believe in this. Quality is expensive. And their idea of maximizing the profit is they'll increase the price. For example, let's say the price of the product is 100 rupees and the manufacturing cost is 80 rupees. Now, what is the profit they are making? They are making 20 rupees profit per unit, per product. And now they will increase the price from 100 rupees to 110. When increase the price from 100 to 110, what happens to the profit? Profit becomes 30 rupees. So this is their, idea of maximizing the profit. Coming on to the other side, the Lean Six Sigma model, or otherwise the operational excellence model. Here the belief is quality is inexpensive. How good the situation is. The product quality is world class, best in class. At the same time, the price of the product is very competitive. And so quality becomes inexpensive. And here, to maximize the profit, To maximize the profit, they decrease the defect. They decrease the defect and increase the speed of operations. There are two things they will focus. One is they decrease the defect. Another one is they speed up the business process. So what do we mean by decreasing the defect? What do we mean by speeding up the business processes? We will come to know as we proceed, right? So when I do these two things, my profit can even get doubled and tripled, right? Because they know quality is not just function of the skilled resource, modern technology and machinery, and quality is also a function of, your defect rate and rework rate that is happening in your company. If the defect rate is too high, it simply means, your quality levels are bad, right? And similarly, the cycle time, if your cycle times are longer, that means, your business speed, the speed of business processes are very slow. That is getting reflected in your cycle time, right? So it's very important that we keep lesser cycle time and we keep lesser defect rate and lesser buffer, which are all reflection of having a great quality in our products and services. So in the classical business model, quality is indirectly proportional to the speed. That means if quality is high, then speed will automatically go down. But companies who understand the Lean Six Sigma model, for them, quality is directly proportional to speed. It is very difficult to digest the statement straight away. But if you really understand the principles of quality, Lean and Six Sigma, you will be able to respect the equation, which is quality is directly proportional to speed. That means you are looking for a high quality product. Yes, you should also be able to produce it faster. You produce faster, at the same time, the quality is best in class, right? And as a result, the cost will also be low. So all that are the benefits. Now, let us also talk about another important term called cost of poor quality. Any industry, any product, any service, they take enough care to produce quality product. But in spite of their prevention and lot of appraisal activities, still failure happens, rejections happens. The cost associated with the failure are called cost of poor quality. The cost associated with the failure are called cost of poor quality. The failure can be internal, failure can be external. If you detect the failure, it's called internal failure. If someone outside of your organization detects a failure, it's called external failure. However, in both cases, the cost associated is called cost of poor quality. Now, I want to ask all of you a question. In my slide, an iceberg is visible. In my slide, I have an iceberg is visible. Are you all able to see the iceberg? Is it visible? Is it visible? Yes, I could see, answers coming up in the chat box. Yes, all of you can see the iceberg that is visible in my slide. This iceberg is nothing but the visible failures in your company. This iceberg is nothing but the visible failures. And they generally account those visible failures. They convert them into dollars and then see how much they are actually losing. So when you account it, you will be able to realize 4 to 5% of your sales is burned in the form of cost of poor quality, which is visible cost of poor quality. These are nothing but the internal rejections, warranty claims, the repair works, the reworks that are happening, the recall. Recently, electric vehicle, isn't it? There were a lot of recalls, and even Toyota had recall, Ford had recall, and Maggie, the Nestle India, they had recall, right? And recall is something like launching a product with some defects in the market and then later realizing and then recalling the product. Please note, all these things are quality related. All these failures are quality related, and so it becomes very obvious and you can visualize these failures. But what happens, there are many other forms of failures which remains invisible in many organizations. And earlier I asked about the iceberg. And then earlier I asked about the iceberg, and then all of you said, yes, the iceberg is visible. And now let me slightly change the question. Please confirm whether the complete iceberg is visible or not. Please confirm whether the complete iceberg is visible or only the tip of the iceberg is visible. Please confirm in the chat box. Whether the complete iceberg is visible or only the tip is visible. Yes, thank you so much for the confirmation. Only the tip of the iceberg is visible. Same thing will be the situation in any company, including yours. Only a small portion of the failure your people could visualize. And there is an invisible portion of failure. Let me first show you the invisible portion of the iceberg. For that, I have to uncover the water. Let me uncover the water. And now you can see the invisible portion of the iceberg. And now you can understand which portion of the iceberg is bigger in size, the visible portion or the invisible portion. The invisible portion is bigger in size, right? So some of the invisible portion of the failures that commonly happens in every organization I have listed here. If you could read out all these things, you can easily understand most of them are related to the speed. Then what is these things, visible portion? These are all related to quality related failures, nothing but some non-conformances which your customer can quickly notice and then make a complaint, right? These are all generally visible. But what is this? Speed related failures. For example, longer setup time. Setup time is otherwise known as changeover time. I have to change from product A to product B. I have to change the setup of my machine from producing, let's say, product A to product B. Some setup change is required. So how much time do I require, do I consume to make that changeover? Am I taking more than 10 minutes? Every time you consume more than 10 minutes to make a changeover, to effect a changeover, please understand that should also be considered a failure, right? And there is a tool called SMED, single minute exchange of dice, which demands that all the changeover should be completed in less than 10 minutes, right? Similarly, having a longer cycle time. Cycle time is the speed with which you actually produce product. But there is one more tool called takt time, the speed at which customer expect you to produce the product. So which is most important to us? Takt time is most important. The speed at which customer expect me to produce the product. So now I have to make sure my cycle time is lower than the takt time. If that is the case, then I will be able to make on-time deliveries. Otherwise, what happened? Customer has to wait. Always my deliveries will be delayed. Similarly, the excess inventory, premium shipment, lost overall equipment effectiveness, lost sales, waiting, motion, overproduction, over-processing, customer dissatisfaction, lost market share, failure resolving time. All these things are also failure, which are generally not visible. So in order to bring all these problems to the surface, it's important that we must educate our people. We must equip our people with certain tools and techniques. Thereby they can easily visualize all these tools and problems will automatically come to the surface, and then it will get attended. And if you include the visible as well as the invisible portion of the failure, now you will be able to realize 20 to 45% of the sales is burnt in the form of cost of poor quality. Now tell me, what is your actual profit margin? Your profit margin is 8%, 9%. Where is your profit margin? Look at the percentage of cost of poor quality. If you focus properly, that too, focus on the quality related failures as well as the speed related failures, I am sure you all will be able to double your profit, double the profit margin in your organization. If you don't understand this, probably these monsters will gradually eat away all your profit, and then you will be left with nothing. So this is one reasons why, organizations are struggling to survive in the market. Hope the slide is clear to each one of you. If there are any questions, please do not hesitate to post it in the chat box as I move through the slides. All right. And now I have a slide for all of you just to hinder your thoughts. And now there are 4 cars I am showing. In your opinion, which car is a quality car? Please do type your answer in the chat box. In your opinion, which car is a quality car? I could see answers coming up supporting BMW. Please, all of you, each one of you have to share your answer, right? You're here for the learning next 2 hours up to 9 o'clock. So please do type your answers in the chat box. There is an answer for Suzuki. Purva says, all of you, please type your answers. Kiran says, all are quality cars. And then Ujwal says, none. Great. And then Purva says Suzuki. Kiran says all. And Dimple says BMW. Yes, all of you, please participate. Share your thoughts. Nikesh says BMW. Ujwal, he says safety standards. All right. So we could understand there are a good number of support for the BMW, and then few people say it is Desire, and few people say all are quality cars, isn't it? If I change the question, which car is a luxurious car? Then probably all of you who have typed BMW, you can be proud of your answer, because obviously, that is the luxurious car here in the list. So we often confuse between quality and luxury. And in my opinion, we can consider all the cars as quality cars. Then what is the difference between the cars? The customer segmentation is the different. The customer segmentation is the difference. BMW segment is different, and the Desire and i20, the segment is different, and Renault Kwid, the segment is different, right? And as long as your car takes care of the requirement of its own customer segment, your car can be considered a quality car, right? So in my opinion, all these cars are quality cars, right? So what is quality? Simply stated, quality comes from meeting customer requirements. For example, in this workshop, if all your requirements are met, you come with some expectations. If by attending the webinar or if by attending the workshop, if your expectations are met, then we can call this webinar as top class without any doubt, right? So simply stated, quality comes from meeting the customer expectation. How can you make it happen? This occurs as a result of 4 activities. Any organization should understand these 4 steps, these 4 activities, and then if they take care of these 4 activities, obviously the quality is taken care. First point, understand your customer requirement. Understand your customer requirement. And number 2, design products and services. And number 3, develop processes. And number 4, manage and control the processes. So now let's understand what are these 4 steps. The first step, understand your customer requirement. A requirement is considered to be understood if it is specific, measurable, and then actionable, right? So a requirement is considered to be understood only if it is specific in nature and measurable. In Six Sigma, we call them as CTQs. CTQ stands for critical to quality. CTQ stands for critical to quality characteristics. Nothing but the technical specifications. Nothing but the technical specifications of the products and services. And once the specifications are available, you proceed with the designing. Now the designing is done. How do I know my design is really appealing? I make a prototype. And compare against the customer requirement. If prototype is really the design is really sounding good, then I'll proceed with the next step. The next step is develop processes that can mass produce your products, because here is the prototyping. We just do samples to understand the the design features, but now we really want to mass produce. For that we require processes. But even after developing processes, you know what happened in a long run? There are many factors which remain uncontrollable. There are many factors which remain uncontrollable. As a result, you know what will happen in a long run? Process will start losing its capability. So process, they say the process which were designed, developed, capable to produce the the products and services might slowly deteriorate and then may lose its capability, may start losing its capability. In order to retain the capability, as well as sometimes depending on the market situation, market demand, we may have to increase the capability of the process. For that, managing and controlling the process becomes very important. Managing and controlling the process becomes very important. And all of us here in the meeting, one way or the other way, all of you are involved in the fourth step, managing and controlling the processes, provided if you are in some managerial or the leadership role. So process improvement is a very, very important activity, right? So what is this process improvement approach? First of all, let's understand what is a process. Process is nothing but set of activities that converts your input into the output, consuming the resources, right? Process has got two parameters. One is called effectiveness, another one is called efficient. Effectiveness, another one is efficient. So what is this effectiveness? The ability of your process to deliver output exactly meeting the requirements is called effectiveness. Imagine you are going to a coffee shop, you are ordering a coffee. You are going to a coffee shop, you are ordering a coffee, and they are serving you a coffee. But the coffee is not up to the mark. The coffee is not up to the mark. It is not sounding as, it is not tasting as per your requirement. Now tell me, do you consider this process as effective? No, we don't consider the process as effective because you did not like the taste. That means there is some non-conformance. The customer requirements are not met properly. So a defect is found to be present. As a result, the customer disliked the product. So it is fundamentally the ineffectiveness of a process which is termed as the defect. So Six Sigma is all about defect reduction. Six Sigma is all about defect reduction, and for that it improves the effectiveness of the process. It makes sure your process never deliver output with any form of ineffectiveness, right? And it assures results close to 100%. On the other hand, efficiency. What is efficiency? How much resource do you actually consume to produce the output? Say, for example, in the same coffee example, you are going to the restaurant, you are ordering the coffee, but this time coffee is served to you after 40 minutes. But the coffee taste this time is really good, but you are made to wait for 40 minutes. And now tell me, is there a problem with the effectiveness of the coffee making process? No. They understood your taste requirement and then they prepared the coffee well. You liked it. But problem is they over-consumed the resource. Time is also a resource. They took 40 minutes to prepare one coffee, and that in that sense, the process is inefficient. It is fundamentally the inefficiency which is termed as waste, right? So we must get rid of the defects as well as get rid of the waste, because presence of defects will pull down your quality. Presence of speed will pull down your efficiency and then the speed, right? So it is fundamental. The waste elimination is called lean. Eliminating or reducing the waste is actually called lean. So this statement is very important. At any cost, effectiveness cannot be compromised because no customer is willing to buy a product having defect. We are not going to buy any product with defect, isn't it? We expect a product to be 100% defect free. So at any cost, effectiveness cannot be compromised. At the same time, efficiency must be optimized. If you take care of the effectiveness, that means product quality is great. Customers are happy. They will definitely buy. But if you take care of the efficiency, your manufacturing cost will get actually optimized, will get minimized. As a result, your profit will get maximized. We want to make sure our customers are happy, the business owners are also happy. So if you want to make sure everyone is happy, then we need to take care of both the effectiveness and the efficiency. Hope it is clear to each one of you. If there are any questions and thoughts about this particular slide, please post it in the chat box. I'm just checking. If there are no questions, we can move on. So what we understand here, process improvement. Process improvement is the key to improving business results, right? Imagine you have an orange tree. This orange tree can produce oranges, and suddenly your management wants you to produce apple. And tell me, will you be able to produce apple from the same tree, orange tree? Definitely not possible, right? Orange tree cannot produce apple, which means if you want to change the fruits, then you have to change the roots. Same way, if you want to improve the business results, you have to improve the business processes, because the same process can only give same result. If you are looking for better result, then you need better processes. And that's why I said process improvement is an important activity, essential activity, which you cannot avoid at any point in any business, right? So this is what Six Sigma calls it as, or represent it as, Y equal to F of X. Y equal to F of X is the process where Y is the result we wanted to improve. In terms of quality, Y is the problem we wanted to solve. Y is mathematically called the dependent variable. Y is mathematically called the dependent variable. Coming on to the right side of the equation, we have X variable. X variable are the causes. X variable are the inputs that goes into the process, because Y is your output. So X are your input. The X variables are also the, what do you call, the independent variable, mathematically called as independent variable, right? We call X variables as independent variable because we can control them directly. We can control them directly. It doesn't depend on anything else. But Y variables are called dependent variable because if you want to control them, you can do it only through X. So at any moment of time, the value of Y clearly depends on the value of the X variable. And that's why we call Y variable as dependent and X variable as independent. And now let us assume Y as the taste of the coffee. Taste of the coffee. Tell me, taste of the coffee, is it a Y variable or an X variable? Please type your answers in the chat box. Taste of the coffee. Is it a Y variable or an X variable? Come on, guys, please try your chance. Taste of the coffee. Is it a Y variable or an X variable? Yes. Yes, all of you can type. I could see answers coming up. Yes, all of you are saying that taste of the coffee is Y variable. And taste depends on the ingredients that goes into the coffee. What are the ingredients? The milk, the coffee powder, the sugar, the temperature, the stirring time, all of them are X variable. And now if you want to control the taste of the coffee, it is important that you control the X variable, isn't it? If you want to control the taste of the coffee, it's important that you control the X variable. That's why we call Y variable as dependent and X variable as independent. Let me give one more example, the same thing. Let us say the sweetness of the coffee. The sweetness of the coffee depends on the sugar. Now tell me, the sweetness of the coffee, is it a Y variable or X variable? Which is Y, which is X. Sweetness of the coffee is Y variable or X variable. And the sugar, great. The sweetness of the coffee is Y variable. That means the amount of sugar is X variable. The amount of sugar you can control. That's why we call it, independent variable. You can control directly. As I control the amount of sugar, the sweetness, gets controlled, right? So this is what we call it, problem solving approach. This is what we call it, the problem solving approach, process improvement approach in Six Sigma. And now let us move ahead to understand how the Lean Six Sigma evolved. First, let's understand how Lean evolved. In 1926, Sakichi Toyoto, he converted his loom works into automotive company because he realized, there is enormous scope and potential exists for the automotive field. And so he converted his loom works into automotive company. And later, 1950, his nephew, Sakichi Toyoto, he toured Ford because that time the US-based Ford company was very famous. They are known for their mass production. So he actually toured and studied their best practices, and then he came back, and so that he can do something for Toyota, right? After, you can see him here, Eiji Toyoto. And now after coming back to Japan, Eiji Toyoto, he collaborated with Taichi Ono and Shigeo Shingo. So Taichi Ono is the one of the famous Japanese quality guru. He is the one who introduced the 7 waste, right, which you will be learning in the advanced program. And Shigeo Shingo, he is the one who introduced tools like Poke-OK, SMED and things like that. So these 3 people collaborated very well to come out with an effective system for Toyota. They named it as Toyota Production System. They named it as Toyota Production System, and the whole TPS is based on 2 important principles. One is right sizing the resource. One is right sizing the resource. The other one is self-monitoring. If you right size the resources, it will lead to effective utilization of the resources. Imagine you are asked to jump out of the plane and you are given only 1 parachute. Now tell me, how will you handle the parachute? You will handle it very correctly, isn't it? Otherwise, you can't land the earth, isn't it? So the same logic. When people are provided with the correct amount of resources that are required, they have to perform. So the first underlying principle is, targeting to reach the right sizing of the resource. Inventory, only what is required, that will be the inventory, right? So, and number 2, self-monitoring. Self-monitoring resources, self-monitoring machines. Imagine a car that comes with the fuel indicator. Imagine a car. Nowadays, every car has got a fuel indicator. And so you imagine the opposite one. Imagine a car where there is no fuel indicator. If there is no fuel indicator, what happens? There will be unnecessary stopping of the cars. Your car may run out of fuel. All those failures will happen. So monitoring mechanisms are very important. Self-monitoring. That's called, self-monitoring. So these are the 2 underlying principles behind building a system for Toyota, and that was named as Toyota Production System. This really worked very well for Toyota, and using which they were able to produce faster with the lowest cost, higher in quality, and most importantly, they were able to produce in different varieties. And since Toyota was able to do very well, extremely very well, with the help of their Toyota Production System, the TPS garnered the global attention of the quality gurus across the globe. And so they studied TPS and made it available for all others in the name called Lean. So Lean is nothing but the revised version of the Toyota production system. So these are the four important principles at TPS. Principle number one, philosophy is the foundation, and the philosophy is creating value for people. Anything that I am doing, I'll make sure it adds value to people's life. If it doesn't add value to people's life, then I will consider that as a wasteful activity. This is the main philosophy. Philosophy number two, the right process will produce the right result. Philosophy number three, develop people and partners, and they will develop organizations, right? And number four, systematic problem solving and organization learning. Problem should be brought to the surface and then it should be solved systematically. Systematic problem solving is nothing but fixing the problem at the root level. Thereby, you are arresting the problem, forever, right? And then what? But most important thing is you must learn from the failure. When you are actually solving a problem, you must learn from it and incorporate the learnings back into the process, which is called organizational learning. So these principles have become very popular, and now, in the name of Lean, it is successfully adopted by all the companies. And this is the house of Toyota production system. And you can see there is one important pillar on the left, which is just in time, which ensures the right sizing of the resource. On the other side, Jidoka, which ensures the self-monitoring of the resources. And the foundation is Kaizen. Kaizen is small improvements, small improvement that can add up to your results, and then stable and standardized processes. Haijunka is leveling, and then teamwork, people's involvement, and waste reduction. With all these things, highest levels of quality at lowest cost, shortest lead time, empowered employees, best safety, higher morale. Morale is something, people, it's a group motivation. People are motivated to work in your environment. So these are all the kind of results TPS has produced for Toyota. So what is Lean? Fundamentally, Lean is identifying the waste and eliminating the waste. So what is waste? Any form of inefficiency is waste. So what is inefficiency? If a better way of doing a work exists, you still follow the old way. That is also considered inefficient. That is also considered a non-value adding or a wasteful activity, right? And say, for example, the banks, 5 years before, if we have to pay rent to our office or house, we go to bank, withdraw the money, and then we make payment. Nowadays, who is going to bank? Who is withdrawing the money? Everyone is, making the payment in just matter of 2-3 clicks using their mobile application. What was actually consuming 4 to 5 hours long back has now become just 4 to 5 clicks. This is called, lean thinking, right? All the unnecessary activities are eliminated, and your process now has only the necessary activities or the value adding activities. You can understand the same thing with this example. Imagine you driving a car in a traffic environment and driving the same car in a clear highway like this. Think about your driving comfort. Where the driving comfort will be better? Will you feel comfortable driving here or here? Obviously, when the road is clear, your driving comfort will be at its best. Similarly, the performance of the car. Your car cannot even give half of the mileage that is expected, but your car can definitely deliver a better mileage than what you are expecting from it, when the roads are very clear. Similarly, if you make any business process a lean process, that means it should not have any non-value adding activities. Anything that you do, if it leads to customer dissatisfaction, we call it a wasteful activity. We call it a non-value adding activity. For example, let's say I produce product with defects, and when the defective product reaches the hands of the customer, it leads to dissatisfaction. So what I did is actually a wasteful activity, right? So anything I do, if it leads to dissatisfaction, or anything I do, it doesn't impact satisfaction, Both of them are non-value adding. Both of them are wasteful activity. In Japanese language, the wasteful activities are called as muda, M-U-D-A. Hope it is clear to all of you. Any questions? Are we going good? Any questions so far, or shall we proceed? So what I would like to do is, if there are no questions, let us do a small activity which all of you can participate. And we just now we learned a tool called Kaizen, right? Kaizen is small improvement. Kaizen is small improvement, and small improvement can make big results. So let us do a small Kaizen. Kaizen itself is a Japanese word, where Kei means change, Gen means good or better. Changing for the good is actually good for your organization. But the improvements are small improvements, so everyone can participate in Kaizen group activities and then actually do improvement. So now what I want is, I am going to show a set of numbers and symbols. I am going to show a set of numbers and symbols, and I'll show it for 45 seconds. I'll show it for 45 seconds, and each one of you is expected to memorize. Each one of you is expected to memorize, and don't be over smart. Don't write it in any notebook or paper, not required. You just have to memorize, right? So let me show you my slides now. It will be available for the next 45 seconds. Please try to memorize the numbers and the symbols in the same order. Okay, 45 seconds are over. Now we are in the process of understanding how Kaizen can impact quality, how Kaizen can impact speed. Ultimately, it's an improvement, right? So hope all of you have memorized the number and the symbol. Now I want you to take a piece of paper and a pen and try to write down the number and symbols, exactly matching the symbol with the appropriate number. The number and symbol should match. Please write down the number and symbol in a piece of paper in the same order you have seen. Let us see how many numbers and symbols you are able to match. I'll give you exactly 45 seconds. Your time starts now. Your time starts now. Are you all working? Are you on the job, all of you? Are you on the job? Am I correct? You need to let me know. Or you can be on video to do that. I'm just setting my stopwatch. Yes, I'm just setting my stopwatch so that I can know, I can see how much time you are consuming. So, yes. Okay, stop. My watch is running now. More seconds, 10 more seconds. 5 more seconds. Yes. So if you are still writing, please stop writing. Now I will show you the numbers and symbols on the screen. And now please correct yourself. If you are able to match the numbers and symbols, give yourself a tick mark. Right? And wherever you are not able to match properly, and that is considered a wrong answer. Now out of the 10, how many marks you are able to score? How many numbers and symbol you can match? Please mention your score in the chat box. If you have done all correct, then 10 marks. You can type 10 in the chat box. If you have done 8, then type 8 in the chat box. Please share your marks. Yes, I could see the marks coming up. Ganapati got 8, Kiran Raj got 5, Ujwal got 9. Yeah, so you're very great. And Purva got 6, all of you. And Sudanshu got 8, Franklin got 7. And who else? Nagaraj, you got 6. Oh, half of them comes to me and half of them goes somewhere. Everything, should come to both the host and co-host. Okay, so there were a lot of responses, but I could only see half of them. All right, no problem. So all of you have scored between 6 to 10. And now, what is our focus now? We either want to improve the results, improve the quality, and at the same time, we want to improve the speed also. Let us go for a small improvement, a small Kaizen, and let's see how that is going to help us. I'm going to show the same numbers and same symbols with the small improvement, a kind of Kaizen idea. Now, please confirm, all of you. Will you now be, or do you find the work little easier now? Right? And now if I ask you to memorize again, will you be able to do well this time? I did not see anybody scoring 10 out of 10 earlier. Can everyone confirm me? Can everyone give me a confirmation that you can score 10 out of 10 this time? I could see many people saying yes to me, right? And still, if some of you still feel, some of you, if you feel, no, you cannot get 10 out of 10, we can always go for one more round of improvement, because improvement is a continuous journey. It never ends, right? So let me show you the next level of improvement. Now, please confirm how many of you will now be able to score 10 out of 10. I have shown the same numbers and same symbols, right? And now tell me, will you be able to match the numbers and symbols? Please type in the chat box. Have you noticed your performance improved? Your quality has continuously improving. As we make improvement in the process, our quality of, we started making less defects. At the same time, tell me how much time will it require to memorize this? We started with the 45 seconds and there were a lot of problems. Do you think 45 seconds are required here? No. You can just do it in 10 seconds, 15 seconds. This is the power of lean thinking. What is lean thinking? Small process improvement. How do we improve the process? We remove the non-value adding activities. And see here, this is an example of a Kaizen. This is an example of a Kaizen. An office before organizing and after organizing. Now, what is the advantage? Now they are able to be more productive. They are able to be more productive, and at the same time, people will be highly motivated, and ultimately they were also able to score well in the 5S audit, and all those benefits started happening. Right? This is a small case, or you can call it as workplace organizing. So similarly,